Fortnite fam, welcome back to the FNCS Summit. We just watched a crazy clutch out of Curve, a solo clutch, and I promise you, this arena was loud, but Papa and Mama Curve were probably being like, yo, that's our kid, that's so crazy. You gotta be so happy for Curve in this situation to pick up a solo clutch VR on land?
I mean, what a way to announce yourself to the land stage,
Yeah.
right? You know, this is how it's done. I think a lot of people would have had questions about Veno, an established EU player moving over to NAC and then deciding to play with an unproven talent, a promising talent in Curve. A controller player at that as well. People have been like, maybe this isn't the right move for him. But, I mean, we all knew he was capable of it. It was just about showing it. And the nerve that he has to do that on this stage, first ever LAN, playing with Veno as a solo to Carter, that is unbelievable.
Absolutely. I mean, I was thinking some of the concerns maybe going in with Veno IGLing, Curve, you know, very aggressive controller player, and thinking, okay, just try not to take too much damage, try not to overstep. Doesn't even matter. Just back-to-back-to-back elimination, solo clutch the VR. I mean, what else do you need?
I love too that moment. You can literally see it on Veno's face. He's like, dude, you actually did it. Like, let's go. Like, you know, you got to think with someone like Veno, the caliber of player, the first player to have an NA and an EU FNCS title, to pick up this kid and think, okay, let's see what he's got. Dude, he's just like Papa Curve. He's just as proud.
Yeah, he really is. And he's a player that we've got the pleasure of seeing his development as a player throughout the last few years of him being in comp. You know, when he was first coming onto the scene, all the way back sort of Chapter 3 when he won with Aqua, he was that sort of raw talent. He was almost the Curve of today. And it's really nice to see him sort of mature as this sort of IGL, older head in the scene right now. Great to see him on the telestrator earlier on as well, breaking down some strats. And that's what he brings to this team. He brings that calmness. He brings that confidence. Even when he went down there in that game, he was actually smiling. He was like, oh, I've gone down, great, because I've got Curve on my side.
That's someone that trusts their duo. When you see them smiling after they get eliminated in top 5, you shouldn't be smiling when you get eliminated in top 5, but Veno knew that Curve had what it takes. This is just the start for a player like Curve. I mean, proving yourself already at an international competition of this caliber. We're just day 1. We have 3 days of competition. We're gonna see them on Sunday, and I'm excited to see how they perform.
You said statement, right? Going into finals, people are thinking, well, I might have been kind of looking at Curve or Veno around thinking, oh man, how am I gonna deal with that? Now everyone's thinking, okay, it is absolutely Veno and Curve. We have to take that fight too. I want to take a look at the standings. Let's go over this, right? We've got a single game left to go before we wrap up the upper bracket. Darm Dimash, they take over first place. Look at this. I am so happy to see them, you know, really thriving in this environment, man. Again, you mentioned statement, Mini Miner. That's what they're sending, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mentioned it earlier on. Last minute drop spot changed. Of course, working with Coach Sven, they would have had a lot of strats coming into this as well, even not showing all of them as well, of course, in this upper bracket right here. But this is a team that we all are excited about, particularly coming from EU. They're always sort of the new Polish greats that a lot of people are talking about. You know, you talk about Kamisetti, the new wave, the new blood in Poland, and they have so many fans, and you can see why. The way that they play, they were that sort of mid to low ground team when they were playing in trios, and even in this end game, they're playing it as a duo as well, playing that lower ground, which is great to see, and a team that we can definitely look out for on Sunday as a potential.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about new Polish duo. Don't quote me on this, but I think in 2024, they had like 40K earned as a duo. Then 25, they had over 200K earned as a duo.
Wow.
I mean, this team rose to fame so quickly, and now once again proving themselves on an international stage. It shows that they can do it online, they can do it in person, and they're here to fight for that trophy.
Oh man, Takada, but you remind me, right? Of course, this trophy's awesome. There's a lot of players doing well, but there's still players that need to make it on that bubble. And immediately my mind goes to Muzz and Sphinx, 26th place. We actually saw a really awesome Muzz solo clutch in that last game. That's why they've moved up those 2 placements. But boys, this is it. We've got 1 game left to go. We must find ourselves in the top 25, or we have to go back down the lower bracket, fight through 6 more games with 25 new duos.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, I'm looking at clicks there as well. Higgs, shout out to him. Solo clutch. That could be the clutch that keeps them in contention here. They still have one more game to go. If they drop down to the lower bracket, that wonky land looking like it's going to be contested as well by King. So things might be interesting there, but they want to make
we
it
need to
happen
get
here.
hit.
Even players like Chino and Pablo, we saw them on the previous page. These are
I
some
said the players
competitors that
the
in
same
predictions,
planet.
they were saying they were going to get top 3. They could even win the competition, and now they're outside of qualifying range on Uppers day 1. I mean, as a reminder,
When last time loot up and one leave, not one shot.
The other 25 duos that are just licking their lips, waiting to see which drop spots are going to get claimed after today, so they can start preparing, they can start putting in the work. But for all the players that are here right now, they have one more match, one more opportunity to solidify a place in the finals on Sunday. And you know, this is where the pressure starts getting felt.
Dude, I feel it, right? I'm starting to stress for some of these players. You know, we've got one game, but look, it's okay. We've seen one game be the difference maker, right? Everything's okay. We've got this moment right now.
Yeah, and that can sort of create some pressure, of course, so much pressure for a lot of our teams. It all depends on, do you crumble under that pressure? Do you thrive under that pressure? You'd like to believe in yourself, if you're a player up there, that you do thrive under that pressure and that you fancy yourself in this final game. But this is really where legends are sort of beginning to be formed, because if you don't make it through today, it's going to be really difficult to make it through tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already feeling it. You can hear the silence. The silence is loud for these players behind me right now. They're loading in, they're locking in, and they're getting ready for these final moments, whether it's a contested team that's going to battle it out quickly off spawn, or one that hasn't been contested throughout the day, but they just haven't found that success yet. It all comes down to this.
Oh man, stress levels are through the roof right now. It always happens like this, doesn't it? It always comes down to that final game in Fortnite. Fortnite does what Fortnite does, but again, this is it. This is that moment for these players. They have a single game to put all the pieces on the table and shift everything in their favor, right? No. Guys,
Oh fuck.
I have word of an announcement. We have to go to game number 6. I'm sorry to leave you.
Oh, he
but
did.
we need to see how this ends. I'll tell you about this after. Caster's take it away.
What do you guys know that we don't? Levin, what are they hiding? I know it's you.
I don't know anything, guys.
Wait.
Can we get the game done so we can get to the announcement? I mean, I want to know what he had to say.
All right, look, we know exactly what these players are hoping for, but it's time. Game 6, because we need to figure out what Zeke's going to say after.
It poem. It wanna it poem. I don't know why you do it on a Friday, not a Saturday, but it's a poem. Poem or a new wake mode, and hoping that us, and we have no map. Nice.
They will advance to our championship Sunday. Our bottom 25 on that leaderboard plays again tomorrow in the lower bracket.
Put emphasis on the top 25 here, Jacob, because it sounds so easy on paper, and yet when it comes time to actually break through and ensure that you don't fall down to that lower bracket relegation era, teams still struggling to try and make the difference here. Flixie, Chap, ultimate scramble. Romero tries to make it to the chest first, but Flixie, he's just getting tagged up along the way. And Leiva and Romero have finally found so much success at the starting point of New Sanctuary.
Flixie and Chap have struggled to find solid ground in competitive this year, and these young guns won't make it any easier for them. Back to the drawing board it is.
Yeah, with the standings this close, when it comes to trying to get in on the top 25, every little mistake goes under a microscope, and you really got to review it before tomorrow. Going into the action, Gino, Pablo, not really making a move. Kanata, Victor, V, standing their ground. Mini Pio and Fukun, they're there as well. Triple contested standee. And none of these guys want to back off of that POI, but this time around, we got something interesting right out of the gates.
Nice
Instead
play.
of landing
Good
over
play.
towards Wonky Land, where Shark and Teeny would certainly run them down, they take a different approach to their final moment.
And this is Clicks and Higgs prioritizing success
Good play.
over pride. They've lost the off spawn, but that doesn't matter. Poyo and Peterbot, they're trying to regain their pride after the misfortunes of last game, doing what they do best, rolling a team over without any consideration whatsoever. For these NA Central teams, it's just about making things stick and giving themselves the momentum going into Championship Sunday.
Well, one problem has definitely been building all day today for Pixie and Swizzy, and it's largely just the fact that they haven't yet had that standout game. Everything has just been somewhere in the middle, and sure, it's built them up 82 points, but when you are this close in the leaderboard for that top 25 placement, they can't afford any other slip-ups. This has to be a flawless matchup.
What?
Ages of Ritual and the feed, they actually got the eliminations onto Reed and Cooper, but just like games prior, we were wondering why
Well,
are so many people at Sandy Strip. I'm wondering why are so many people at Latte Landing. I was thinking for a moment, Ages of Rituals, they finally got a chance to play off spawn, but Yapko, Panzer, they're here as well. Jonas, the Falash, they're here as well. They're not making this easy on anyone.
I have seen way too many times, Jacob, Latte Landing devolve into madness just like this on EU and on NA. When you have two teams fighting off spawn all day long, teams start to get opportunistic, especially in this final game where every point matters.
And even worse still, if you are in Agers and Ritual position, because compared to Veloz and Jonas, as well as Yapko and Panzer, those are teams that are already relatively established for that top 25 metric. It's really just about Richie and Agers trying to find some solid footing, because they cannot afford another early departure, or else they will be playing in tomorrow's games.
Just one of those moments to where as time keeps dwindling down, honestly, we're probably going to feel it in the pace of this game with each and every passing zone. Those opportunities go out the window. Even though you still got tomorrow, that doesn't make it any easier. You almost take a hit on your confidence, so you want to qualify here, even if it means having a pop-up performance in the last game of the day. We've seen it before, and I'm sure we'll see it again.
The fighting continues. No team wants to walk away from this one. So much invested already. If you can't find the opening, eventually you will be forced to walk away just to keep yourself in the game. But both of these teams playing for keeps. Hands up, Yapko, it's been a great day for them. They're just shutting their stuff now, trying to exert themselves on the lobby. But will they get the response they're looking for?
If anything, Jonas, Veloz throwing out a couple of Hail Mary efforts there to see if they could just isolate, take out Panzer. If they get one, it's not super likely that Yapko is going to immediately send himself forward. He might actually opt to back out.
And this is the part on these fights where things get really awkward. The Storm starts to apply a bit of extra pressure. Lurk plays come through, and all of a sudden you're jumping up on height, trying to find the shot, trying to find the angle, and they will! Jonas goes down, and Panzer not working with much by way of HP. Yapko neither. They do have the upper hand for just a moment.
They just have to be very, very careful. Because remember, this was 3 teams here at one point or another. Agers and Ritual. They used these 2 guys as fighting, as a way for them to disengage towards the outside. The higher you build up, the more opportunity you're giving them. But you can see Panzer, Yapko, they can no longer keep the pressure in this 2v1 situation. You said it yourself, there's a huge lack of that HP. He passes on over the goal. They're hoping there is going to be enough, but instead of buying a medkit, he just quickly buys the patch up. They want to get right back to putting down pressure because they know Jonas is down. The siphon was imminent, and it finally comes into play.
For Veloz, this is a almost worst case scenario even, because 102 points, you're not exactly safe. You're just on the threshold, and you can't afford to teeter-totter any further in the negative direction. He will be forced to retreat. Pico Malabuca, though, they have had quite the day for themselves, and they are not looking to bring it back anytime soon, because Shark, Teeny now looking to challenge these big boys, but Pico seemingly trading out the shots, and that's going to force Shark to wait for Teeny to take over.
This is 2 of Europe's best. And I spoke to Vico in between the last game, and he said, "Levin, man, we're chilling. We're just trying to have fun with it in these last couple games." And if their version of fun is ruining Shark and TV's end to the day,
Fortnite wants to get them made. Kids, that did imagine battle. Bubble.
But that doesn't mean that they have the advantage. The left-hand peek from Teeny doesn't provide much by way of success, and so he eventually will fall at the hands of Vico and Malabuka.
Yeah, and I think Shark sensed that one come in. He immediately disengaged towards the south side of Wonky Land, giving them a chance to at least get rebooted up. You see no HP. I wonder what he's going to do.
Well, the main reason behind that, I'm just thinking back to what took place between these EU teams in our actual FNC. Yes, Vico was being called the fake demon for the longest time, and sure, it's not going to exactly throw Sharkantini into the lower bracket, but it still plays a little bit of spoiler on their day.
Demon's home. We know there is bad blood between those two duos. But for now, the stakes not as high. Both teams still looking comfortable as far as the format goes.
Kid formatted, oh my gosh.
Characters we're looking at. As far as
Kid
making this final
no
count.
loot, but one matted fit in the loot. But
Not
two
a
of
bad
them.
all. Acorn
Oh,
and
wait.
Bolts at the top of that mountain. It looked like for a moment they were looking in that direction, so I don't think Clicks and Higgs went under the radar in the same fashion that they did. But did you see their loadout? I think the decision to leave Wonky Land in Game 6 works out. They were able to fish a Midas Flopper, which grants you instant a gold loadout, and they were able to find
Wow,
two
Midas.
different gold shotguns. So already being able to pack a punch
If
in
Kid
this game,
made
they
it,
could make it towards the
if
south.
Kid
You
and
see
had
Sandy
made
Strip
it,
just outside of the zone. They could give
hit
themselves a
them
real
bar
fighting
so
chance
to
to get into
cut
that top
in
25.
the mud
They're
bit.
not the only ones
That
on the
safe
hunt
Kid
for
and
it.
hit.
When you talk
Dominated.
about big performances that need
Not
to take
safe,
place
it's
in
still
this
too
final
much, but,
matchup,
you know.
Alex and Reckless
Today.
certainly fit the bill here. Only 20 points have been gathered in these first 5 lobbies, so waiting to see whether or not they're actually going to be able to find that monumental come up. It is a very tough uphill battle.
I think one of the themes we see with some of these smaller region teams at times is ultimately they're just not used to having players in the lobby who are willing to fight back, right? When you're the big fish in a small pond, it's easy to exert your dominance. Well, all of a sudden, when you've got people who have been doing it at the highest level on this type of stage for years, ready to give you a challenge, it changes the dynamic completely. And so that is a lesson that they'll have to take into day 2 if they are in that lower bracket.
One thing I do think about, though, some of these teams haunted by just not really having a drop spot to call home from the starting day. And Pollo, Peterbot, everyone was wondering, they're going to be at Swiftly, but who else is going to be joining them? And yet, no one else has really seemed interested. Darn Deemish, they're willing to take a fight, though.
We've seen these two teams face off against each other in many of these games, and in quite a few of them, it's resulted in both teams backing off. Will this be the game where they actually go blow for blow and look to close things out? Too much respect on both sides, it felt like. But in Game 6, there's no respect. Peterbot, we know he likes to exert dominance on any players that land near him. But Dharm and Demons, they are no pushovers. They are two of the best fighters when they want to be. And they are the leaders of the day. And you have to treat them with such respect.
Hey, we could be foreshadowing something here because we know what Peterbot and Pollo love to do if they have a chance at first and they're just outside of scope. Darm, Demus, even though it's probably them approaching closer and closer to Peterbot and Pollo, this is something we could definitely see as the tournament continues on as Vico takes out 51 Cole. Big shot from above, drops into the box, cleans that one up easy. Madden's able to put down a little bit of damage, but now Labuka is interrupting this fight, not letting him feel free or loose, pushing him back, and is really trying to not let him heal up. That pressure means so much.
But Malabuka can only do so much. He doesn't have any builds to work with. Everything belongs to Vico. Can he make it to his duo to split the difference? That is still left to be given, but Madden is actually just trying to look for the full-on disengage. He was hoping that he could look for a runaway, but he's just not going to get the chance. It's bad news bears all around, and Clicks and Higgs, they might find themselves in a very similar outcome if they're not careful.
Yep, but they're finally starting to pull things together from the top side of that map. Not even an actual POI, which we thought they would land it all weekend long. They rotate all the way to the east and are finally starting to make their way in. They run into Falaz, they run into Jonas. They get both of those eliminations. I'm sure they're feeling great.
Remember earlier when I said at a certain point you just got to rip up the game plan? It feels like Clicks and Higgs are doing just that. They're just anywhere right now, and we're seeing them make the plays needed to deliver on the points. They are so close to being able to push themselves into that top 25.
Gino and Pablo are also looking for that last-ditch effort, though, to try and avoid that lower bracket 6 series games, because you think this is volatile. Just imagine what takes place, what ensues when teams understand that their opportunity to participate in the Summit Finals might be lost outright. That's where we really start to see a lot of chaos unfold.
Yeah, you can see there for a moment that leaderboard popped up. 3 different teams as this game is going on at 82 points apiece. You're seeing a couple eliminations go down, but I dropping Maris on 78 points. Again, just outside of the bubble. This point threshold as of now is so stacked. One mistake can cost you a trip to Championship Sunday and send you straight to the lower bracket instead. And I think iDrop and Marius kind of know it. That's why you're seeing them and a few other teams staying inside of the zone towards those vending machines so they don't have to go through all the chaos.
Cold and rapid. This is quite the sight for these two, clearly having fun with it.
They're on that Vico and Malabuka tech right now, but they're taking it a step further. I'm going to hold my tongue on their decision making here, I think.
No game, Mini Miner.
I like it. I like it. Cold is just having fun, man. He's just doing his thing, just show up, show out. And Cold probably tried to talk Rapid into it. He was like, yo, come on, let's have some fun. He said, nah, that's all you. Triple T, that's all you. I'll stay far, far away. And you think Rapid's leading him in this game? No, he's just trying to run away from him.
Yeah, Rapid doesn't want to be seen with this guy right now, and I can't blame him.
Why
But
so low?
we know that they're probably feeling a little bit better about some of the success from the wraparound through painted bombs, but these guys gotta be nervous, and that's gonna make the party even worse still.
What the?
Clicks and
I'm
Higgs, they're
sorry.
in 29th spot right now on that leaderboard, and Higgs is not gonna have the chance to look back and try to pick up clicks along
I'm
the
sorry,
way.
but
he has
did
to just keep going.
Another game,
That's a-
another opportunity for Higgs to make it happen for his team as a
Yeah,
solo.
that's a bot. Oh
And this
wow.
is the one that he's going to have to do. You saw there, Muzz and Sphinx, some of their biggest
I'm
competition for
sorry.
top 25 right now.
This
have
game
fallen.
unfit.
And so again, the
And I
people in
see
front of
what
them
happened
fall by the
people
wayside.
thought,
It has
but
to be a big game from Higgs here.
ah,
Saw 4 different teams at one point on 86 points. Cold running through the bottom, takes out Shark. There's a real beast in the ocean this weekend, and Cold is looking to be that guy.
Yeah, he's nice with it. Probably the best thing I could say.
If I told you that's like the best
If
flag of all
Higgs
time,
are
you'd
now
look at me and
caught
say,
this-
Nah, surely not, man. This guy ain't taking it seriously. But that is
hit
what Cold does.
with the own summon.
Sky and Scroll, they're still taking things seriously, it feels like. And we know what that means for the rest of the lobby. Their consistency this season has been relentless. And in a game where many teams are struggling to find footing, they are not going to give any room, any space for anyone to have a big game if they can have a say about it. Way above on Surge. The material's looking fresh. This is looking like a classic Sky and Straw game right now.
And that pan over couldn't help but notice where some of these teams that are looking to try and cement themselves for Sunday's finals are actually situated compared to the rest of the lobby. Reason and Noah Riley trying to see if they can take advantage of some of these teams rotating a little bit after the fact. But Alex, he's not going to get the chance to even make it off the landing point.
And
Just
hit
completely
it.
beamed out of the skies
Hit
here.
and hit, play tomato.
Very likely that the international competition is going to be reviewing some of these games here tonight, guys, and just looking back and thinking, how do we take it to the next level for tomorrow?
It's gonna be really gonna have to dig deep. You see Higgs by himself, really trying to clutch up. We saw how many players and teams were tied in that position, and he gets taken down by Controller. Clicks and Higgs will officially play in the lower bracket tomorrow.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but for Clicks especially, all I can do is think back right now to 2023, and it's hard to not let history repeat itself sometimes.
Doesn't have the best history when it comes to lower brackets. And so we'll see if he's learned from the 2023 rules. Marius, an eye drop. Chino, up alone. It's not been the best day from EU's second place team. And we might just have to see them perform again on this stage tomorrow to make up for it.
This This is that point in the game, 7th zone. Whether you're barely inside of that bubble or outside altogether, you're really going to be tested. Everything you know about Fortnite, both in the physical gameplay and the mental capacity, is really going to be pushed to the limit. And that's where you see iDrop, Marius, 86 points just outside of that bubble, trying to find a sweet spot inside of the zone. They're 128 below the damage threshold. The silver lining is only 2 players need to go down before it deactivates, and there's one.
Feels like the bubble's burst though, Jacob. I mean, all the teams above them on the bubble, all the teams below them falling. And so it's really setting up to be a game for them, but Swizzy in the feed goes down, and so Pixie down as well. I mean, tomorrow's lower bracket is looking stacked right now, Taco.
I mean, you can see the
Yeah,
frustration in
tomato.
Pixie's player cam. The expectation would have never left you in this kind of situation.
I hope
One reason, he's not
Fortnite
worried about what
today.
everyone else is going through right now. He's
I
only
hope
focused on
other
what's in
one
front of
dude
him.
made
That
it
first
and made
one
it
has
started
already been
up
successfully
AC tomato.
completed, and now he just needs more.
This is
Yeah,
a man
now.
who has no intention
And white
whatsoever
art team.
of playing in that lower bracket. He wants to get the job done tonight.
Peterbot and Poyo finally on the high ground. They've been through so many trials and tribulations throughout day number 1, but have yet to pick up that victory royale. They have 7 eliminations. This is a
sorry,
big
kid
stage.
needs to
Can
play
they do
bubble.
it? iDrop and Marius are surely trying to pull themselves within that bubble. Another elimination, 96 points, but they're taking shots from all around, drop down to 26 HP. They're even separated for this last couple of seconds. Can they find a way back? No, they can't. Marius goes down.
But in the final hour, it's still iDrop left standing. You have to remember, he's been doubted all year long so far. Can he finally pull things through? iDrop called so often the baggage next to Medius, and now he has a shot to redemption here. Looking to find an elimination. If he can get the refresh, it would certainly continue this journey forward, but he's forced to drop all the way to low ground, and he can't make it back up. iDrop and Medius are out.
That's a big moment right there for everybody else at the bottom side of the leaderboard. Voco being one of them. It seems like everybody that needs an opportunity here find themselves as a solo. And for Voco, 112 points. He's inside of where he needs to be, but with no builds left, he has to wait for somebody to make a mistake, maybe jump on top. For Kidu and Werix, this is a big moment. They need a couple more points to find themselves safe. They find at least one elimination there, but they need the placement. That's worth just so much more.
Just knowing that so many top dogs, though, are the main ones left standing. You've got both ends of the spectrum currently competing against each other. Peterbot's gonna take out Kanata, though. That's just one less opponent that a duo like Wedix and Kiduo have to worry about. Cammy, Hadi now losing all of their shields. Peterbot's tracking as strong as ever, but now circling back down. Kiduo and Werix, they've drawn so much attention to themselves with the Flowberry Mist Grenade.
Time is running out for this duo. They need to make a play and fast. You cannot just sit in your box when you have no materials. There are opportunities for them to find the refresh they need, but they have to get creative now.
Yeah, Lewa, Romero trying to do just that, using the overdrive shockwave simply for the effect. They drop down towards the front side of zone, but they're a layer above a whole nother duo that they have to watch out for as Werix here's elimination, scrambles for the loot, but he gets taken down going for it. Cammy gets another elimination. Inside of the top 6 we go.
Scroll, Sky, waiting to see who's gonna step up to the plate next. Sky, very rare miss there, but it might actually be exactly what BOT needed. Just trying to see if he can continue carrying things through. He needs to see if they can survive.
One of the few healthy duos left in this one. Romero now will try his best to continue this elimination spree going. Cammy and Hari, they have something to say about Sky and Stroll's low ground dominance. And you have to remember, with all this happening, Pete and Poyo still waiting in the wings above to try and squeeze this lobby dry. And now it's Cammy and Hari shutting them out. But how will they get back up the hill? Cammy with 6 limbs, out of character for him, not out of character for Scroll to get bigger limbs though. Takes Peterbot down. Cammy gets knocked, he can't get back up. And so it's up to Scroll to do what Sky did earlier.
I was gonna say it's our top 3 teams remaining, but everybody's stuck as solos, and it comes down to a 1v1. Hari here in this situation against Pollo. Remember, neither one of these teams have gotten the big win that they're known for, and Pollo with no builds, forced to drop down below, trying to fire back onto Hari, who has the high ground. Good damage being landing, but Hari's just landing so much more pressure, trying to force Pollo outside of the zone, but there's a couple of seconds left before that play comes to fruition. Chug Chug going to be used for Pollo, giving himself just a little bit more time, for the zone is pulling up and over the hill. For Hari, he has a huge advantage in terms of positioning. The zone is just eating Pollo alive, one tick after the next. He finally makes his way in, but it doesn't last long. Hari and Cammy clutch out game 6.
There are only so many options left there for Pollo. Even with that 20 left in the Chug Jug, it simply wasn't going to be enough. The repositioning from Hardy to remain on high ground was ultimately what sealed the deal for their fates here today. So Frankie, let's hear it from them.
Thank you so much. Stand up, please, boys. You just got a victory royale. Hari, talk to me about that end game. Playing it as a solo, you played it perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, I just solo clutched well. That's it.
Damn, okay,
Cammy,
too
I
much
feel like we saw
to
you clutching it out during the
A
major
lot of
finals, but now you're
team
seeing your
not
teammate
make
Hari
final.
do it on land.
Big team.
What were you
Wow.
thinking when you were watching him clutch?
I was sure that he was gonna win because he was on the high and got mats, and the guy other didn't have anything, so it was a free win.
And when Hari is doing his thing on his own, are you talking him through it?
Yeah, I'm always trying to help him, and yeah, it was easy.
Well, you guys are definitely qualified for Championship Sunday. It's a position you know very well, Cammy. Congratulations to the two of you. Dusseldorf, please give it up for Cammy and Hari! We're gonna head to the desk.
Okay.
Takada, we seen it all from Cammy and Hari, right? We talked earlier. Wait a minute there, we're seeing them on height. That's crazy. Wait a minute, we got a VR in game number 6 out of them now.
I'm seeing them extremely confident. Remember, they were going against Peter Rod and Pollo in those final moments. That's also where they landed at the start of the match. Both duos around Squibbly, and they ended as well in that clash, but Cammy, Hari were the ones that came out on top. Now, both teams there, I believe they did have enough points to make it into that top 25, so we'll have to see if that clash continues on Sunday.
Yeah, it's what you expect. It's Cammy, it's LAN, it's what he does. I mean, this guy's the LAN GOAT. You can see just from his gameplay, you just know with Cammy as well that he's got some things cooking up for the grand finals. You know, nice to see these guys picking up a win as well. They're a team that you don't necessarily associate with huge, massive elimination wins. But this one, what's that? 8, 9 eliminations. Really, really nice from them. And ultimately, it was, of course, the zone that ended up taking down Pollo at the end. But they did enough. And for them, it's just about getting across the line into the finals.
And what I love about this is look at the players they took out. They took out Pollo. They took out some of the top. And quick look at the leaderboard now. Number 1 is still going to be Themish and Darm. Zeke, what are you seeing?
Takada, I'm seeing this top 5 looks a little heavy in one of the regions, and it's not NA. My heart breaks though because production's pushing me through this top 25 to see which duos did not make it. Here we go. Marius, I dropped just pushed.
Oh my, tie. A tie.
And it was a tie as
Oh,
well
I feel
for
so
all things.
freaking far.
But it looks like Darko
Oh.
Suganori will make it through. But so many other duos are now thinking, Mini Miner, well, I have to take it to lower bracket. I will have 6 games. Stress all-time high. 25 duos. Am I going to the same spot? Is someone now contesting me? So many questions in the back of their minds.
Look at this
I-
page.
Yeah.
Wow.
Swizzy, Pixie, Clicks, there's so many big names that you wouldn't look out of place in the top 10 haven't qualified through to Casa.
Look, what I have on my mind right now, in terms of Clicks Higgs, I'm looking at the lower bracket. The team at Wonky, it's King and Phaser from Brazil representing Argentina. Then we also have Dark Dominion with Swizzy is dropping its Aviv and Cam. So we've got these lower bracket duos that are now looking at what their competition is going to be going into tomorrow. And all they got to do tonight is that homework.
Oh man, it's scary stuff. There's other things obviously that did happen in that game. You know, Peterbot Pollo, yo, we saw some moves, right? These guys were looking to make some things happen up on that high ground. Peterbot finally saying, all right, I guess I'll try going into this last game, you know?
Yeah, this is a team that we have to keep our eyes on for the grand finals. They're a team that we haven't seen enough of today, I feel like. You know, we've seen some good glimpses of gameplay. We've seen some good glimpses of what we may have associated with Peterbot and Pollo of the past. This one is probably a prime example of that, dominating the game, pressing all the players and the teams all the way down on low ground, doing what Peterbot does best. That elimination right there, just textbook Peterbot. And they're a team that I still think has a lot in the locker as well. You know, ultimately for them it was about getting through. But they're a team that still can win it all. They don't have, of course, now Clicks going to be contesting them off spawn. They don't know how they don't sort of have that confusion going into the day. Where's Clicks going to be landing now when it comes to tomorrow? That's another question to answer, but they've done it.
What's on my mind are those expectations I was talking about at the start of the day. I mean, expectations only last for so long, and if they're not matching how they performed in 2025 and 2024, the expectations won't stay there forever. Now, this is an upper bracket. They made it through. They did what they had to do. Sunday is where it truly matters, and I think we saw a bit of a spark of what that might look like.
Crazy stuff. Well, Fortnite fam, I know what you've been waiting for. All right, I got it right here.
Oh,
Don't even worry about it.
fuck.
All right,
BP,
let's
dude.
talk about 2026 for a quick moment. We actually put together a little graphic here to kind of help explain it, but just stick with me, okay? There's many things to discuss. First, let's start with September 26th and 27th is the new date of the Global Championship. That's right. And I'm honestly very happy and honored to announce we're going to Antwerp, Belgium for the Global Championship. In addition, Major 2 has some changes. You can kind of see here on your screen, July 18th to August 2nd for Major number 2. Major number 3 is now the last chance, which is happening August 3rd to 14th. And then you probably, I don't know, you saw something on the right side there. It says FNCS Solo. Yeah, we're going to do something in October. Stay tuned for that. More to come, more to follow. Don't even worry about it. There's also a blog that we're about to launch right now, so go in, check that. There's a couple extra little things there, like power rankings and some ranked updates, but if you want to know more, that is where you want to go. And of course, tickets, pre-registration, live right now. Antwerp, Belgium. Fortnite fan, get ready. We about to have some
what
waffles.
The fuck?
Mini Miner.
How
do you feel about that information?
Wow, hyped. I think really. You know, the Global Championships, Antwerp, Belgium. I've never been, so I'm excited to you know, see what that's going to be like. You know, FNCS Solo. That is the thing that I'm looking at. I'm like, what? Hang on, Solo?
I figured you would have. I figured that's where you guys would go.
Yeah. I mean, Solo's a great Takata because you get to see a lot of talent coming through that you don't necessarily get to see in the duos and trios format.
Okay,
there's no team to rely on. There's no teammate to
there's
carry.
space.
It's just you.
What?
Solos. Wow.
I mean, some of the most iconic names in Fortnite competitive have come from solo events. Uga, Tayson. I mean, there's so many big names, and I'm trying to think, when's the last time we had a solo event, you know, at an FNCS level? So this is something I am very excited to see. And also now with this new generation of players, I mean, we got players like Shark, 14 years old, leading the pack on EU almost. I mean, there's so many big things to come.
Well, Fortnite fam, we hope y'all have been really excited about that information. You probably have questions. That's okay. Again, go check out the blog. It's going to have a ton of information for y'all to break down, to pick apart, and look into. And over the weekend, we'll be reminding you this because it's pretty big news. Obviously, this does start to wrap up day number 1, the upper bracket mini minor. Let's start with you. You know, how did this meet your expectations? Did it exceed? What are your kind of thoughts? I mean, it's a lot to process with finding out this other stuff.
Oh yeah, we have a competition we play today. No, it was, I mean, what a day of competition it was. I think coming from EU this season, there've been a lot of surprises and a lot of just shock moments. And I think today has kind of replicated that in so many ways. We've seen teams that we expected to do well, not finding themselves in that top 25. Teams that some people have tipped to win the entire weekend, now having to play in the lower bracket. Took so many people, and myself included, by surprise. And even some of the smaller teams as well, rising up through. Players you don't expect to do so well. Players that are playing their first LAN, shining through. Looking at you, Curve there. Wow, what a day it's been.
I mean, I'm thinking of our global champion from 2025, the only remaining global champion playing here today, which is Swizzy,
What
alongside
the
Pixie,
fuck?
unable to make it. Click
Oh,
Higgs.
yeah,
I mean,
I know what
we are
Dublin,
gonna
but
have some interesting
W.
engagements. Swizzy,
W
Pixie
for
landed
not.
our Dominion, and that's where
See you
Dominion can have
tomato.
market